Hey guys, how y'all doing today? So we're here with Captain Marvel, and we're just going to do a short little video on the basics of lunging, kind of how to get his body positioning and what he needs to move in order for us to start lunging him left and right, be able to stop, come in, change directions, and things like that. Okay, so the very first thing that we have to get a connection with him. You know, if we just kind of come out here and we don't have a connection with our horse, when we ask him to go around us, they're just going to think that we're asking them to leave. So we want to have a connection. We've got a slight connection with the lead rope or the lunge line, but I kind of want the connection to be more of a mental between him and I. So we have to have a good starting point. We have to have a spot where he's looking at me, he's kind of paying attention. We can't, if I ask him to just move forward, he's going to run right on the top of me. So what I actually have to do is turn him and get him to be perpendicular. Kind of the way I start is I always, want to give him the cue that I want him to follow, and that's just going to be a point cue. I'm going to ask him to go off to his right. So I'm going to give him that cue, and always want to do that first. Then I'm just going to take this into this lead rope. When I see his head go that way, I'm just going to stop. And I'm going to let him know he did exactly what I wanted him to do. That I'm basically kind of pointing, saying, I want you to go that way. I want your mind to go that way. Because if his mind goes that way, his feet are going to follow. We'll try that one again. Right there. And it's that stopping that lets him know he's doing things right. I want him to understand when he goes that way that I take the pressure off, that he's doing it correctly. The next step, then I'll go ahead and ask for the shoulder to step over so that he then turns and he's perpendicular to me. Then I can go ahead and ask him to go around me. So I'm just going to ask him again. I'd like to see him be able to move his head with just the point, but that's okay. He'll find that eventually. There. See, he's making more out of this than I need him to, but I don't have to worry about it. I'm simply asking him to walk around me. That's all. And my focus with this rope is right on his shoulder. So I want that shoulder to step over. And I'll just stay with him until he goes forward. I don't have to, I can take my time with this. And so he kind of had a little bit of a meltdown because I had to put kind of a little pressure. I kept the pressure on him and he didn't find it right away, so he thought he had to be bothered by it. That's the whole idea, that if he just goes, there's no bother. I'm making sure that he doesn't pull against me, doesn't pull on my rope. He's staying kind of just nice and soft. And when I want him to turn in, what I'm going to do is just shift my focus back here to the hip and see if I can get the hip to step over like that. And so he doesn't understand. He thinks it's got to be a problem, like it's got to be a fight. And there is no fight. It's only what he's creating in his mind. And I'm just going to wait on him. I'm not going to force this to happen. Just going to wait for him to learn to go away from that. There's his head. because I want him to know that this is really easy if you just yield to it and not try to go into that pressure. Not like he looks at it kind of like it's pressure and it's a problem. And so we don't want him to look at it that way. We're just looking at it to, I'm asking you to go this way and just go. Go away from this pressure. There, he's already turned his head. I like that. He even started to shift a little bit there. There he goes. I'll take that. See, if he just listens to me for a minute and he just like stops trying to fuss and he listens, tries to listen, he'll figure out that I'm just showing him something to do and that it's very simple and that if he does it, it's going to be really easy. I want him to start to realize that I'm always going to try to talk to him. I'm always going to try to explain things to him. I'm going to try to be aware of what's going on with him. I have to know when he's just saying no or if he just doesn't get it, you know. There he goes. He did well, but you can see he kind of overdid it. He did more than he needs to do. And that's usually what horses do when they're kind of anxious, because we're setting this up for him in the future to really be able to trust us. That I want to let him find it, but I've got to do this so until he does it.
The further we move on from all those yesterdays, happiness gets nearer. The light that we see closing in so fast ahead, it's hope, it's getting clearer. The more I think of all the tough times we survived, the more it makes me smile. If nothing's broken us, yeah, nothing never will, 'cause dreams are hard to kill. And I know somewhere's a place where we can build our memories. Somewhere, just hold on tight, it'll be alright. Show me the way.
Good boy. So the actuality is all that fight, he can get through it and figure out that he doesn't have to do that. He's got an easy life. So a couple things are happening. We're teaching him how to yield to pressure. We're teaching him also how to respect. I'm moving his feet both sides, both directions, and that's kind of you know, being a leader. Okay, so there's a couple things that we got to watch out for, especially when we're working with a you know, horse that doesn't have a whole lot of handling just yet. Maybe has a little wild side to him. We want to make sure, we want to watch out for, first thing is that they don't run over the top of us when we ask them to step over. When I point, I'm going to watch those feet, make sure that he's not trying to come over the top of me, and that he can yield, there we go, the shoulder over, so he's going well away and around me. So the second thing that we'll watch out for is the back feet, okay? So as I'm walking along here with him, I'm kind of towards his back feet, and I'm asking him, basically, this is his ride, okay? This is kind of his first ride. I'm guiding him where I want him to go. So I'm back here at his back feet. My focus is on the, kind of on the stirrup, or where the stirrup would be, and I'm walking with him. So we want to make sure, bring him around, there we go. I want to make sure that you know, he might not just throw a foot out there and do a little cow kick at it. So that's a couple things that you really got to watch out for.